If you haven't sold Amon-Ra St. Brown yet, what are you waiting for? A fourth-round rookie out of USC, he took the fantasy football community by storm the last 6 weeks of the regular season. During that span, only Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams had more PPR fantasy points. The argument to sell Amon-Ra St. Brown is obvious. He won't return top wide receiver production next year. But that's not what the market says. For Dynasty leagues, his tier, according to KeepTradeCut.com, is around the same comps as Calvin Ridley, Brandon Ayuk, Keenan Allen, all valued as top 75 players in Dynasty leagues. He's surrounded by these players who have been wide receiver ones or wide receiver twos their whole career. I mean, except for Brandon Ayuk's first 8 weeks of 2022, Ridley, Ayuk, Allen have all been these top tier wide receivers. Yes, Ridley has the question of whether he'll return for 22, given the mental health sabbatical he took this year. But when he's on the field, he's a wide receiver 1. Brandon Ayuk was the wide receiver 18 in 2020. Keenan Allen has posted 6 top 13 wide receiver seasons over the last 7 years. What do these players not have in common with Amon-Ra St. Brown, though? They'll never be the third receiving option on their respective teams in 2022. Instead, we need to instead of looking at what went right for St. Brown, we need to beat the market. Look at the edge. The edge of the market requires us to look beyond how things could go right for St. Brown and look at all the ways it could fail. First, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift will be in full health in 2022, along with Quintez Cephas, who, if you remember, only played the first few weeks. He was commanding a target share. Before the injuries, in particular to Hawkinson and Swift, though, St. Brown averaged a 14.8% target share, with only 3 of those weeks eclipsing 20%. And 20% it's okay. But St. Brown averaged a whopping 32.9% target share from week 12 onward, but only ran 3 or 4 more routes per game than the first 10 weeks. It's not as though he was being more involved by running more routes or increasing his playing time. They were just centering the offense around St. Brown. They were jet sweeping, giving him rushing attempts, all after the loss of Hawkinson and Swift near the end of the season. And with both expected to be back, St. Brown's ceiling will be limited in a Lions offense that has its own overall limitations with Jared Goff at quarterback. The Lions may draft a wide receiver in the early rounds. Pro Football Network's mock NFL draft on January 13th had the Lions select St. Brown's former USC teammate Drake London in the early second round. And look, it's very early in the process of predicting what will happen, who will go where, what will the combine look like, all those things. But those around the league acknowledge that an alpha wide receiver may be coming from the draft to Detroit. So that's certainly within the range of outcomes. And then the Lions may sign another wide receiver. Christian Kirk, DJ Chark, Allen Robinson will all realistically command target shares meaningful enough to limit St. Brown even further than the return of Swift and Hawkinson. So if you haven't sold Amon-Ra St. Brown yet for the upside of a Keenan Allen or a Calvin Ridley, go do that. Test the waters. See who is available. There may be a St. Brown truther in your midst or hopefully in your dynasty leagues.